All right. All right. It's been quite a while since I've been trying to film this video, and I'll give it an attempt 141 if I need to, because the topic is too important. Today, we'll discuss the difference between anxiety and excitement. And yeah, that's the most important. Like, come on. Do you want your life to be led by anxiety or excitement? Yeah. Let me start with saying that if you would knew me years ago, I'd be the yes girl. Driven by pretentious excitement, I would get myself into all kinds of trouble and pretending that I was just saying yes to life because that was hip at the time. But in truth, I lived in self-denial, unable to look within and search for the real reasons for my anxiety, which have been as simple as drinking too much caffeine or talking to people that I didn't feel safe with. I repelled what I actually wanted and was always thinking, why is my life going sideways? Since then, I also overcame different forms of compulsory behaviors. And so today I'm here to inspire you how you can get rid of your anxiety and finally start living life on your terms. I'm also here to remind you that you are expanding consciousness. You are a wonderful human being as you are. You don't need fixing, you don't need improving. But chances are you click this video because you want to feel even better and freer and lighter and more expansive. To thrive, rise and shine. So you ask, but how do I stop my anxiety? How do I stop wanting the things I really want and I want them now? All right, let's start. Are you actually aware of your anxiety? Or do you think that the tension in your body is just normal? It's how you're supposed to feel when you want something. Do you think you have to struggle and suffer for everything that you want out of life? We are so conditioned by the common narrative that we are so used to feeling stressed and full of anxiety. So it might not be visible to us at first that we are actually thinking it's excitement, that we are excited for it, truly, truly, and how our hearts are racing. But in truth, that's anxiety in disguise. So we think it's normal to bend over for the things we want or for the things from other people that we want, or that our hearts are racing all of the time. You should not feel stressed about every little choice or decision you make. I'm here to remind you that the normal state is being relaxed. So when comes the time and you again feel the tension in your body and you cannot swallow and you feel like your heart will just jump out of your chest and your head is kind of like blank space, you don't know what to think, what to decide. There are either too many options or all the options are just not your preference. Just stop for a while. It might be anxiety in disguise or compulsory behavior, which is an attempt of your body to release itself from anxiety. And let me share a few other examples. You always say yes, despite not knowing if you will actually be able to keep your promises. You don't give yourself space to actually feel your feelings because they are somehow terrifying. And so you rather scroll or look for another activity that you can do, like cleaning your apartment or whatever it is, but you just don't sit with your feelings when they show up. And so then you keep yourself busy at all times because you think that it's better to be active, to take action, than just to what? What would actually happen if you would feel your feelings? You would release them. That's what would really happen. But let me tell you about that later. Because you might keep yourself busy because you feel guilty that you are not doing enough. There's always something that is running away from you and you cannot catch it. You cannot do it all, right? And you know what? There's no shame. I've been there. Maybe it does not affect your life in big ways, but maybe it's those small, tiny ways that are actually disrupting your life path, such as still engaging in conversations with people you don't feel safe with, or people that are just not your vibe. And you trust that you have to engage with it because you're being polite. So I'm here to tell you whatever your story is 2025 and you don't have to do these things anymore. Let's have a look at how to end this vicious cycle and finally know which experience is for you and which you better leave behind. You can use this one simple question for anything that you do. Do I feel the urge to do this, or do I feel pulled towards it? I do this exercise even with the smallest things, like cleaning my apartment. I'm asking myself, am I avoiding something here? Have any feeling that I don't want to feel just came up? Am I trying to procrastinate? Or do I really feel pulled towards having a clean and cozy nest to rest? Because the first one will always feel as if you will die if you won't do the thing right now. And the second one is your intention to lead your life on your terms. That's the first and simplest solution, to know that you are not making your decisions out of anxiety, but truly creating your life towards what you want it to be. Then we have the compulsory behaviors that are your attempts to release yourself from anxiety. It can be as simple as reaching for another chocolate bar in your grocery store. You are there fighting with your demons, saying, one last time. Or you might regret it afterwards and you are abandoning yourself. This is a learned behavior. This does not mean that you are faulty or that you fail in your life. This is just behavior you learned, therefore you can learn new behavior. If you already done this first decision that you consider was not what you wanted, then I would recommend to use this tool of next best decision that I invented for my life. Because if I am buying chocolates in the store thinking, oh my God, I'm doing this again, yay, I don't want to do this, then I'm thinking, what is the next best decision I can actually make? And you know what? That means gifting the chocolate to someone else, or maybe a visitor or my friend when I next see them. Because if you are having a hard time keeping the promises you gave yourself, try to make something nice out of it. If you truly believe that you cannot lead your life consciously because you think that your anxiety or compulsive behaviors are ruling over you, then stop after the first decision and just make a new one. Just try to make the next best decision. I also know people who have these locker boxes and they lock their chocolates on their phones in the boxes, but I think that's pretty restrictive. I'm just offering you with a solution from which you can always create something better. And of course, I had to go through this process too many times, but I managed to get rid of my unwanted behaviors, and that counts. Because the repetitive behaviors shape you as a person, they don't make the person you are. We had a barking break, we're back. So you will slowly rewire your brain for better decisions. Not always the first best decision, but for much better decisions in time. And that counts. Trust me when I say the day you will free yourself from your unwanted behaviors, you will feel grief about that. Because it is natural to always grieve the past version of yourself. But you can also be very proud of yourself. And you know what? That's worth it. And then you say it's not that easy. I have more complex problem, or my anxiety is just went too far. And you know what? It's okay. I understand that. I understand that you don't know how to stop it in the exact moment. Because your brain is just like turned off, right? It doesn't cooperate. So let me share with you another exercise that you can actually make to just engrave your wanted behaviors in your brain. And that's living your values in an actionable way. And what do I mean with that? We all act on our beliefs. That's why the unconscious is ruling over us. So we need to rewrite that beliefs. But how do we do that, right? So firstly, we need to find out what do we want, long term and also short term, because obviously sometimes the short term goals or events will override the long term ones. So go figure out both of them, long term, short term, write them all down. And then you need to turn them in beliefs. You need to make them your best friends, because your best friends never fail you. And the thing is that often I see the values of people being, I value friendships. And I'm like, oh my God, so what does that mean? Because then you find out that person has one great friend and 100 people they actually know. Maybe you also know someone who says that they value a certain thing, but then they act very differently. So once you turn out your values into actually actionable items, you will also turn them into your beliefs. Because with every confirmation you do based upon the actionable item, you will feel proud of yourself and you will start to trust yourself again. And so I give you my personal example. Yes, I do value friendships, but as an actionable item, I say, I take care of my closest circle. And that's my actionable item. That means that I am in frequent communication with my closest circle. That means that I am always trying to prepare or think of something nice that we could do, but I'm always trying to also think about what that person would like to do. What is their favorite thing? Where could we go? And how can we both be the happiest? And that's not people pleasing. We will have videos about that, but it's more of my value. I am living that. I am happy with that. I know who is my closest circle. I love them. And so I want to show up for them in the best way possible. Your values can be very different, but just go and figure out what is actually the actionable item you can do about the value. Not like, I value abundance. Yeah, I value my family, but then you never call them. Yeah, so, just go figure out what you can actually do about it. And as I said, you will build your trust in yourself by repeatedly taking action on your values. You can also say, I value financial stability. But that actually means that with the next paycheck, you are putting more on your savings account. And again, building trust in yourself. Okay, I trust this is clear, and that's how you know that your decisions are actually led by the higher perspective of your life, that you are not impulsive and that you are also not led by your anxiety. And it's much easier to resist any temptation. Sounds like you're becoming a serious person, but don't worry, you'll have fun. You'll have much better fun because you will be able to choose it for yourself by choosing the things that you actually feel pulled towards to, and by having your life led by your values, and you won't let yourself be dragged by other people's opinions or perspective of fun. And if you think this approach misses on spontaneity, then I always say, act spontaneously when you feel relaxed. Don't do it from your fight or flight. It's not worth it. But if you're pulled to an event or an experience, even if spontaneously, then always go for it. When you will find your peace about the thing you want, and you will naturally feel relaxed about it, from the spiritual perspective, you are vibrating on the same frequency. And that means you are in resonance with the thing you want, so inevitably, you're gonna get it. Because you will no longer manifest from lack, but from alignment. And then I have this final exercise that you can try when your anxiety only shows up when you are in a certain group of people, or with a certain person, or when it's just this kind of social anxiety, when you are people pleasing or performing for others, when your hidden fear is that you won't be accepted or appreciated for who you are. And that's my recommendation, and I'm speaking to women mostly because we have the tendency to people please. And this is a trigger warning because maybe you will be triggered by what I say in a moment. Also, this tip you can try mainly in your personal relationships. I'm not coaching you for work, okay? Note that down. So get ready and appear to be useless. I'm not saying that you are, but hear me out. That's how you know if someone truly likes you or loves you. They won't need you for their survival or profit. I'm not underestimating needs here in any partnership or human interaction/relationship. This is not the topic of today, so all the nuanced naggers can calm down and relax, because we all have needs, and that's very much fine. And by appearing as useless does not mean that you will stop helping, supporting, or loving the ones you truly love. Use this whenever you are unsure of the intention of others, or when you don't even know why are you feeling so anxious in the presence of the other person. Most likely it is because you are trying to prove your worth. And again, they can be unconscious. But if you notice it, if you notice that you are stressed and just not feeling well in presence of others, then consider. Maybe you don't think that you are enough. Maybe you think that you are too much. And yes, maybe the world is your mirror and the people around you is reflecting this back to you. However, then why not try this simple solution and just appear to be useless for a while? Then you will know if they are keeping you in their lives just because they want something from you or they want to gain something out of the relationship with you, or if you truly matter to them as a human being. As a human being who has great and also worse days, good and bad moods, if they just accept you as you are, come as you are. Another personal example. Years ago, I would feel anxious even in the presence of my best friend. I would think, I don't have anything to talk about today. I'm not even sure if I can bring some value to their lives. Like, come on, you don't need to bring value to people's lives all of the time. And nowadays, I met my best friend, she brought me flowers and my favorite sweets, and I didn't feel anxious about it. I was so calm and thinking, wow, life's great. I can be no one, and she's still my best friend. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. My closest circle, the loveliest people I know, they can be no one. They can do nothing for me, and I would still keep them as my best friends just because of who they are and just because they are, and we've met in this time and space, and I'm so grateful for them. So reconsider, why do you like the person you like? Is it because they are bringing you flowers? And if they would stop, what would happen? Would you still like them as human beings? You can also assess if someone's behavior shifts once you appear useless to them. Maybe you won't serve their narrative of who are you supposed to be or what role you should play in their lives. I said no work stuff, but can you imagine you're actually stop interacting with that annoying colleague who always chooses you to complain to? You'll gain your peace of mind and most likely hurt no one because they will just find another person to complain to. It is as easy as that. And if that translates to partnerships, then it still applies in a sense of choose firstly someone you resonate with, someone who is a wonderful human being. And secondly, observe if they really bring the values that you appreciate or if you align in the higher perspective. Don't search for love, search for resonance. Because someone who is showing up and being all anxious and wanting to see you all of the time and spend all of their time with you, they might be love bombing you because they are performing and pretending. And that can be a manipulation from their side, even if unconscious. It's upon you to finally choose for yourself, for your life, and not ending up taking the blue pill just because you didn't pay attention. And again, the last idea may seem as if you are losing something. But isn't it better freeing up the space for yourself so actually something better can show up in your life than to dwell on something that is already outdated, that you are chasing, that you need to struggle because of it all of the time? To wrap it up, let me say, don't let anxiety rule over your life. Act from your relaxed state and stop proving your worth. Next time you go take out the trash, leave there your anxiety too. Let me know what idea resonates with you the most in the comments down below. And until next time, because your nature is being pure love, stay safe and spread love.